Hi everyone, my name's Rebecca and welcome back to My Bookish Travels. Today I'm going to be wrapping up the things I consumed as well as updating for the month of May. So let's jump into it. Starting off, I want to talk about two books that I read during the month of May. Before I jump into them, I do want to mention I always choose the top tiered books for the month. So if you guys are interested in seeing everything that I've read, feel free to go in the description box below and you can see the link for Goodreads and you can definitely go and check out what I've read and been reading since then. The first one I want to talk about is called Hold Me Today. This is a first time read for me by this author. It is the first in the Put a Ring on It trilogy, and I absolutely loved it. We have our two main characters who end up getting into an arranged fake relationship. So it is dual POV. Both of them are from a Greek heritage, which I don't think I've read anything where the main characters have that Greek heritage. So this was really unique for me. The male lead ended up making a decision to join a reality TV show that was a knockoff from The Bachelorette called Put a Ring on It. And things kind of went south with that TV show, where now he is in need of a fake relationship so that things can settle in his life. Our main female lead is needing someone to come and complete the construction for her hair salon because her current contractor left after getting paid all of the money for the work, didn't purchase anything, just took the money and left. Both of them are in need of something that the other can provide. But what makes it tricky is the fact that he is her best friend's older brother. Guys, this is so good. It's Grumpy Sunshine vibes. You definitely have the friends, enemies to lovers vibe, and I just loved all of the situations that the author put her characters in. This was such a fun read, and I love that she also introduced us to the main leads for book 2 and book 3, and I cannot wait to continue this series. The second book that I read was actually on Audible, and it is The Winter Rose. This is the second in the Rose trilogy. I much prefer the audio versions of this. The narrator is phenomenal, and it's the same narrator throughout, so she does the exact same voices for the same characters. I can't go into much detail because it is the second, and it picks up a few years after the first book finishes. This follows a set of siblings throughout their lifetime. Guys, it is so good that you definitely have to commit to this. This historical series is not for the faint of heart. Every single audiobook is at least 20 hours, but it is well worth the listen, and I love how the author throws in history from that time frame. And although it may seem important to us as the reader because we maybe recognize that historical significance, she's placed it as being historically significant to the time, but it doesn't overwhelm the story itself. I love this story so much. I cannot wait to read the third and final one, but it's going to break my heart for this series to be over, but I love it so much, and I highly recommend, if you guys love audiobooks, to get it as an audio instead of reading it because the audio is so phenomenally done. Moving on to podcasts, I actually have a slightly different recommendation for this month. If you guys are fans of Hamilton and you've watched it and listened to it to the extent that you need that new hit, look no further than Epic. I listened to both parts, the Troy saga and the Cyclops saga, while I was on a road trip, and my friend started playing it at dusk, and Cyclops was pretty much completely dark out when we were listening to it. So I would definitely say that atmosphere adds to it, so please, guys, put this on when it's late at night or put it on when you've got a storm going on outside. It is so well done. I cannot stop listening to it, and I cannot wait for the next part to come out. The author and creator of this audio series, podcast, beautiful piece of work that it is, was inspired by Hamilton to take the Odyssey and put the same kind of life into it. And it is just a breath of fresh air. I listened to the Odyssey, weirdly enough, like a week before my friend introduced me to this, and it was so good. And even for someone who grew up watching the movie The Odyssey, this version of it, because it was one of my dad's favorite films, I actually love this audio version of it even more, and I only wish my dad was still alive and could listen to it because I think he would love it just as much. Moving on to movies, I have two main movies that I wanted to share with you guys that I watched. The first is called My Teacher. Typically, I get really cringy thoughts and vibes and feelings when I watch a teacher-student relationship. This one was done in a very respectful way, and I also feel like they did it in a way that I didn't feel cringy watching it or even thinking about it. I actually really liked it. I don't know where you would necessarily be able to find it aside from where I watched it. So I've been a subscriber on Viki for years, and they're a licensed streaming service, and that's where I was able to watch this. I don't know if you can watch it without having a subscription. The second one that I wanted to mention to you guys is Book Club. This was a rewatch for my mom and I, and we had so much fun watching it. It's definitely not for the faint of heart or ones that are not necessarily sure what they're going into. This is about a book club where they decide that they're going to read 50 Shades of Grey. Now, both my mom and I have never read 50 Shades of Grey, nor do we have any interest reading it, but we do know what it's about. We haven't lived under a rock, I can promise you that. But this is just done in such a fun way that it's very humorous to watch. We were rewatching it in preparation of the next chapter being released, and we were, fingers crossed, hoping that our theater got it. Unfortunately, they didn't, so we still haven't watched it. We're looking forward to it, though, because of two reasons. First off, cast is amazing. Who wouldn't want to watch that group perform, because they're amazing. But the second thing is it takes place in Italy, guys. I love watching like destination films that are set somewhere other than where I live in Canada, because it just makes me feel like I'm on a little mini holiday, and it's just that short little bit of time and I didn't have to leave my home. So hopefully soon we can watch that. When it comes to TV shows, I didn't get watching a lot. The only thing that I finished was season 4 of Full House. I also was trying to work my way through all that was left of the series because Netflix was removing it at the end of May, but unfortunately, I did not get further than the end of season 4. Moving on to some updates, I do have just general goal updates for you guys. For the reading a Bible in a year, I actually was behind schedule at the end of May. I'll get into that in a second. For my Goodreads goal, I was on track towards where I needed to be to read 105 books by the end of this year. And the third one that I haven't given an update so far this year, but I wanted to share because it's pretty exciting. For Side Hustle, my mom and I did actually hit our target for this year, which was pretty exciting, but it's not going to deter us from completing the rest of the challenges we're trying to do before the end of the year with things we're either getting rid of, donating, or selling. Moving on to just some other random updates as well, I wanted to let you guys know one major change that happened in the month of May, and that was a family friend was getting married in June and did not have a wedding dress and was having a hard time finding the dress that she was thinking she wanted, but she couldn't find. And about a year ago, my mom had spoken to my sister and I, and we collectively decided that it was time for her wedding dress to find a new home. It wasn't necessarily something that we ourselves were going to be able to wear because of the sizes that we are compared to my mom, and that her dress needed to find a new home. And this ended up coming about that this family friend was getting married in June and was looking for a dress. We offered her mom's dress, and she came over, tried on the dress and the veil, and she even saw the cake topper that my mom had, and she really liked it. And when she tried on my mom's dress, it fit her perfectly. She had no alterations needed at all, and her emotional reaction trying on the dress and seeing herself in it the first time was very similar to my mom's reaction, and we knew it was perfect, and she willingly accepted the dress. It was our wedding gift to her, and it just looked so lovely on her. And I love that my mom's wedding dress has been able to have a second life and be able to be worn a second time to go down an aisle and just be showcased for a wedding dress and not sitting in a box in a drawer. So that was really exciting. Another thing that ended up happening was I traveled a lot in May, and out of the 3 different trips that took place, only one of them was actually intentionally planned before the beginning of the year. So the one that was planned was I was going away for 2 weeks. I was traveling down to Texas for the Motorcycles, Mobsters, and Mayhem book signing convention, and then I and my friend came back. And that was the only thing actually planned for the month of May for traveling. The second thing that ended up coming up for traveling was we had a family friend that was getting married. It was a Greek Orthodox, like a traditional Greek wedding, and we went to it the end of April, and we came home a couple days into the month of May. And that was really nice to be able to attend that, but that also put like another bit of time that we were away and we had travel expenses that we had to cover and whatnot. And then the third unexpected was when I came back from my 2 weeks off, they asked me if I could come down and work from another area for a week for my job. And I said, of course I can do that. So I was home for a week and then I was gone the following week for another week. So it was quite a lot of traveling. I think in total I was gone for over half of the month of May, which is just wild to think because as much as I love traveling, I'm also a homebody where my recharging station is here. I relax and recharge so that I can do it all again the next day with going out and seeing people or going to events or going to work. So for me, it was definitely a very exhausting month and ended up affecting a lot of the abilities to create and publish videos, as well as being able to do a lot of the other things that I was trying to keep on top of for goals and why I kind of ended up getting behind on those. I was also really excited to go to my first book signing. This was a big thing for me because I'd never actually gone to a book signing event before, and this convention was so much fun. I made friends with so many fellow readers, and I actually made friends with some authors, which was really amazing, and connected with authors I've read with and connected with authors I've not read before, but I'm going to, and it was just a really phenomenal experience for me. The main reason why I bought tickets to go to this was because two authors I really love, Sarah Brienne and Jamie Begley, were actually going to be at the event, and it was so amazing getting to meet them. It feels like one of those moments where you check off something that you're like, I cannot believe that this actually happened in my life, but it did. And I just feel so thankful to have had an opportunity to have met them and been able to thank them for the books that they've written that I love so much. And then the final update that I want to share, I know that earlier in the year I had said I wanted to finish the novel I was writing. That one I've actually put on the back burner because a couple of months ago, there was a story in my head that I was just really scared to write. And while I was at this convention, I did have somebody tell me to stop being scared and write the story. So I myself have begun the process of writing that story, and I'm having so much fun writing it. And I am excited to continue seeing the story come to life as I put it down on paper. I'm not saying that I got rid of the story I was writing previously. I've just put it, it's sitting there on the computer beside the one I'm currently writing, and I will get back to that one. I'm just really enjoying getting to write the one I am right now, and I wanted to share that with you guys. So that is my wrap up for May. I know it's different from normal because I feel like I had more updates than things that I consumed, but sometimes that happens. I consumed more of life and adventures and things than I did for consuming books and movies and TV shows, and I think it was a good handoff. I really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys had a good month of May. I know it's been a couple of months since it happened, but I hope you guys have fond memories of the month that passed. So I will see you guys in my next video. Please know going forward, I might try to post some extra videos here and there as they get filmed, just because I do want to kind of get caught up and be able to share some of the new videos that I want to put out. So I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you then. Bye!